Wrestling Gaming here, and today I'm going to be doing the top 10 clan boss characters. So let's get right into it. Number 10 is going to be Brawler. So his skill his A1 attacks on enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. One fight, that's okay actually. It's not that great. But the A2 and the passive makes him good, but the A2 attacks on enemy if this champion is under 1 or more debuffs. This attack ignores 30% of the enemy defense. If this champion is under 2 or more debuffs, enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. If this champion is under 3 or more debuffs, this attack is always critical. If this champion is under 4 more debuffs, this champion heals by 30% of the damage inflicted. If the champion is under 5 more debuffs, 5 more debuffs, grants an extra turn. Move up debuffs from this champion after the attack. Okay, that's a lot of stuff. Wow, okay. Passive. Places a 2.5% poison on this champion for 4 turns at the start of each turn. Has a 70% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff on a random enemy for 4 turns. 4 turns at the start of each turn. That's actually pretty good, so Alltan Brawler. Number 9 is going to be Tyrant. So Tyrant, his A1, attacks on enemy, heals his champion by 25% of the damage inflicted, heals his champion by 50% of the damage inflicted instead of the target under HP burn debuff. Okay. Attacks on enemies has 75% chance of placing an HP burn debuff on all enemies for 3 turns. That's pretty long. Great for spiders as well. A3 places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies except his champion for 2 turns. Places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. That's a great move right there. That's a great move. His Fire of Doom passive decreases the damage inflicted by enemies under HP burn by debuffs by 10%. That's good. Increases ally HP in all battles by 25%. That's good because that's meant for clan boss also. So that's pretty good. Number 8. Number 8 is going to be Martyr. So Martyr, her A1 attacks on enemy has 45% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns, and goes up to 75%. Or is it 65? Let me do the math. 75. Okay. Her A2 places a 60% increased defense buff and a counterattack buff on all allies for 2 turns. That's a really good move and goes down to a 3-turn cooldown. It's kind of fast. Pretty fast. Her A3 attacks all enemies, places a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. Places a provoke debuff for 1 turn. So the decreased attack is where it comes good for clan boss, and then the counterattack. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And her aura increased ally defense in all battles by 33%. That's also great for clan boss. And number 7 is going to be Valkyrie. So her A1 attacks one enemy 2 times, decreases the turn meter by 10% of each hit his target has any buffs. Okay. A2 attacks all enemies, places a shield buff on all allies for 3 turns and a counterattack buff on all allies for 2 turns. The value of the shield and damage inflicted is proportional to this champion's defense. That is the main reason why she's great for clan. That's just the main reason why that's such a good move. Such a good move. And the passive, the champion's turn meter will be increased by 10% each time an enemy champion places a buff. Enemy champions will have their turn meter decreased by 10% for each buff they have received. And her aura increased ally defense and faction increased by 33%. That's okay, I guess. It's an aura anyway, so it's fine. Number 6 is going to be Alltan. Her His A1 attacks one enemy has a 60% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. So that's pretty good for Clan Boss already. And when you build him up the right way, he could hit for like 100,000 per hit. So that's pretty good. His A2 attacks one enemy, places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns, places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns, equal to 20% of the max HP if the attack kills an enemy. That is a great move. And his passive, not really meant for Clan Boss because you're not going to kill the Clan Boss. Revives a random ally with 30% HP every time this champion kills an enemy. Resets the cooldown on this champion's skills if this champion kills an enemy and all allies are alive. That's good for Arena, but not for Clan Boss. There's no point in the passive for Clan Boss. His defense, increase ally defense in all battles by 33%. Same as Martyr. Really good. Really good. Number 5. Number 5 is going to be Maneater. So, Maneater on the A1 attacks one enemy, places a 50% decreased attack debuff on all enemies if this attack is critical. So, you gotta get its crit rate up. You have to get the crit rate up. Attacks one enemy, fully depletes the target's turn meter, fills this champion's turn meter equal to the amount of the target loses. My bad. A3, the champion receives damage, then places in a killable buff and a block debuff buff on all allies for 2 turns. Damage received is equal to 5% of the max HP for each alive ally. My bad. So pretty much just the A1 and A2. This one I'm not sure, but the A1 and A2 is the main reason why he got the spot. Number 4 is going to be Mashald. So Mashald, great for Clan Boss. So his A1 attacks one enemy, heals this champion by 30% of the damage inflicted. Will then attack all enemies under leech debuffs. So he places a leech, obviously, on the A2. So places a 30% increased speed and 30% increased crit damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. Places a True Fear and a leech on debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. The True Fear does not work on the Clan Boss, but the leech does, so that helps. And then A3 attacks one enemy, has 80% chance of stealing all buffs from the target before attacking. Places 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. That's not for Clan Boss, but also places a 15% continuous heal buff on this champion for 2 turns. That's 3 turns. That's pretty good. Damage increases by 50% against targets that have no buffs. And his aura, an increased ally attack and damage by 34%. That's not that good. But Mashald, number 2. Number 3 is going to be Draco Morph. And he's just great. For me, since I have him, he averages like 6 to 7 million. So his A1 attacks one enemy, decreases damage increases by 10% for each debuff on the target. Will attack one random enemy with any surplus damage if the target is killed. Damage inflicted is equal to the surplus damage. The surplus damage cannot be critical. A2 attacks 4 times at random. Each hit places a 5% poison debuff for 3 turns, sometimes 4 turns. Fateful Eye, the A3, places a 25% weakened debuff and 60% decreased defense debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Goes down to 3 turn cooldown. So pretty much, he's meant for Clan Boss and Arena. Because the reason why for Arena is because it's A3. I use him for Arena as well. But yeah, he's in his aura. Increase ally accuracy and fashion by 50. That's it. But he's pretty good. He's really good. He's really good. Gonna be Frozen Banshee. I would say she's the queen of Clan Boss. She's so good for Clan Boss. So attacks one. Her A1 attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has an 80% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns if the target is under poison sensitivity debuff. Okay. So A2 attacks one enemy Fills the turn meter of all allies by 2% for each debuff on the target. Turn meter boost, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And then A3, attacks one enemy, places 25% poison sensitivity debuff for 2 turns. Increase ally accuracy in all battles by 35. So Ash is she's pretty good for clan boss. She's really good for clan boss. So yeah. Number 1's gonna be Vizier. Vizier is so good, and I know him from experience because I know how good he is. So I'm not favoring him. He is really good. His A1 attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 35% chance of increasing duration of all debuffs by 1 turn. That's the main reason why he's good for clan boss. This is the only move, the A1. It's the only reason why he's number 1. It's so good for clan boss. A2, I guess sort of. If you really are that desperate to get the decreased attack up, you could use this move, but it wastes lots of debuffs. That's the one problem with this move. If it was just decreased attack, it would be a good move. And attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a block buff and a 50% decreased attack debuff, a 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. And A3, attacks one enemy, applies a debuff spread affecting taking 2 random. This attack is mainly for like let's say you put him Fire Knight run because that's what he's good for, and maybe sometimes arena. That's the only reason why he would use this move. And passive, places a perfect VO buff on the champion for 2 turns to start each round. That's pretty good. Increase ally attack in dungeons by 34%. Mainly just the 8-1. That's the only reason. So yeah, that'll be it for today, guys. Please subscribe. Please subscribe, leave a like, and I'll catch you in the next one.